Today, lawmakers are pushing back on BGE's Baltimore Peninsula project, which includes building more infrastructure like underground transmission lines.
It is a project estimated to cost about $500 million, and officials like Senate President Bill Ferguson sounding the alarm, calling for more transparency and accountability.
Fox 45's Jessica Babb shows us how BGE is responding.
Not only would this project be disruptive and impact historic neighborhoods, the cost of this project is also ballooning, a cost that could end up getting passed on to ratepayers. And because of the way the project is unfolding, Senate President Bill Ferguson said legislation will be introduced that will force BGE to justify the need and cost of this project. With a lot of uncertainty about the future development plans on the Baltimore Peninsula and projects that aren't coming to fruition, many are questioning whether or not this project is still necessary and whether or not the project is now tied to data centers. The Office of the People's Counsel is also calling on regulators to open an investigation into BGE's plans, since this comes at a time when customer bills are high and BGE continues to profit.
We need to know why BGE is using the federal supplemental project process at the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. This allows utilities to bypass important state and local review while earning higher returns on their investments.
I know BGE will argue that this project has been publicly discussed since 2016 and has appeared in PJM documents since then. Why not act sooner on your part?
There were plans and projections for this project. What recently happened was this federal approval process that allowed BGE to go outside of the traditional PSC oversight. The letters that were sent in December of this year were what made it clear that this was progressing at a rate that was not going to be acceptable given the lack of transparency. So that's why we had to intervene now before things move even further to ensure that there is a more public and transparent process to determine whether or not this project is actually necessary.
Of course, BGE argues the project is necessary and will improve reliability for tens of thousands of existing customers, even those beyond the Baltimore Peninsula, and will increase capacity for future development. And even with the uncertainty about what development in that area will look like down the road, BGE argues that aging infrastructure still has to be replaced. They argue the cost of the project is increased in part because of labor, materials, and an engineering redesign. Senate President Bill Ferguson will also be holding a hearing in Annapolis later this week where utility officials will be brought to the table to discuss this matter further. And of course, this will be something that we're tracking and we'll keep you posted on how it goes. In Baltimore, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.